Jamison Cruce, it is certainly a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to represent you in Washington and to do so alongside someone like Jack Pettus. So, Jack, thank you for being such an incredible mentor as I transition into this role. Certainly appreciate it. So, I do have a Southern accent, but obviously this is not a Louisiana accent. I grew up in the North Georgia mountains, about 6 miles as a crow flies from where the Appalachian Trail starts. So, 30 minutes to Tennessee and North Carolina. I've been in Washington for about a decade, but I spent time working in the peanut industry for a state checkoff group, the American Farm Bureau, and most recently, the head lobbyist for the U.S. rice industry for about 7 years. So I know there are familiar folks in the room who I worked with back then, and certainly appreciate that, and obviously look forward to working with you in this capacity. My wife and son and I reside in Alexandria, Virginia, and funny enough, we're 3/4 of a mile from Jack. So it makes it really easy when I need to get an answer and he doesn't pick up the phone. I just go knock on his front door. So you set the stage here, Jim, with not being redundant. So I just want to hit on a handful of really key points real quick. Congress is anything but ordinary, but that's nothing new. No one's told this joke, so I'll do it. The word unprecedented has been thrown around a lot the last few years, particularly through COVID, and that is very fitting. Washington is unprecedented. What we really want is precedented times. So as you vote, send us some folks who will be precedented. We just want some normalcy. That would be fantastic. All jokes aside, wonderful delegation. The challenges in Congress largely stem from, obviously two very different political ends of the spectrum, but incredibly thin margins. If you didn't know right now, the House has a 1-vote margin, which is going to make life very difficult getting anything done for the remainder of this Congress. We got midterm elections coming up in November, so we're going to see a lot of action towards messaging as folks try and get reelected. All that said, that doesn't mean that the impossible can't occur, that things can happen. Jim Wiesmeyer's talking very positively about a supplemental coming together. I don't know that I'm as positive as Jim, but you never know. If the need is there and the countryside shows up and farmers make their voice heard, a lot of things can happen. And that will lead straight into this next issue, and Jim referred to it with the lawsuit on H-2A and the adverse effect wage rate. We know it's a huge issue. We know that H-2A and H-2B programs are well out of date. They haven't been truly updated since 1986, and the regs were put into place in 1987. There have only been a handful of changes over that period of time. So House Ag Committee Chairman G.T. Thompson of Pennsylvania is working still on some legislation that would reform those programs. We anticipate that coming out at some point. We know they've been doing technical assistance. The government shutdown back in the fall kind of delayed some of that progress, but we are hopeful that we'll ultimately see a bill that agriculture can unite behind. There have been several big pushes where we were almost there over the last couple of decades, and it always seems to kind of blow up at the last minute. But hopefully, if there are some real good bipartisan solutions that come forward, some workable solutions to reduce the burdensome nature and the complexity of the programs, we hope that that bill is something we can get behind as the American Sugarcane League, as well as the agriculture industry as a whole. Ag can do a lot when we're all united, but it's pretty easy to blow things up when we end up seeing groups spin off and oppose different measures. I mentioned the election, 1-vote margin in the House, 3-vote margin in the Senate. It's going to be quite the interesting election season over the next few months. So if you're able to record your television shows, I highly encourage you to do so. You can go ahead and fast forward through the commercials. Otherwise, you're likely to see quite a few of those political commercials over and over and over again. But one thing I want to point out, the 2018 Farm Bill, technically the last farm bill that was passed by Congress and signed into law, December of 2018. Not counting the budget reconciliation, one big beautiful bill provisions. Since the 2018 Farm Bill, there are over 300 new members of Congress out of 535 total members in the House and the Senate. We have a ton of education to do. We have folks who have never voted on sugar. We have folks who have never voted on commodity programs, folks who have never put a vote on a farm bill. And this is where the Political Action Committee of the American Sugarcane League becomes so important. You all do a phenomenal job with just over 500,000 acres and what is ultimately contributed to the PAC and the educational efforts that we can do throughout the year with these new members, and more so supporting those people who will support us and ensuring they know why they should support us is so key. So I really want to say kudos on all of the work with the PAC. Highly encourage you, if you're not a contributor, come talk to us. We can tell you why you should be. And hopefully you'll participate, because it is really an essential tool in political advocacy to ensure that members of Congress who get flooded with information all the time from every industry across the board get a chance to understand a little bit about agriculture and sugar more specifically. So with that, I'm around. I really appreciate it. Like I say, it's certainly an honor to represent you. Thank you so much.